Hey there, it's Racer Rob down here at Integrity Auto Care, and today's patient is a 2002 Chevy Malibu with a 3.1 liter. It has intermittent cold start. Now, this is going to be a really cool video, Jeff, that I'm going to shoot for you and my customers, other technicians as well, to kind of train you up on, you know, the fact about tune-ups and how a lot of manufacturers say you can go 100,000 miles without doing your first tune-up, which it can be done. But I do not recommend it because I'll show you quite a few reasons here. So let's start with the basics, and I talked about what we did for you. We did the spark plugs. Even though you have platinum plugs in here, it was definitely showing some wear. See if we can get this thing focused a little bit better. Learn how to use these videos. Come on, baby. Come on. Figure it out, brother. Yeah. Might be able to tell a little bit better, but even though that's a platinum plug, I don't recommend running them that long, because what happens is the gap right there between the electrodes gets so wide that it overworks your ignition coils. This is a coil pack right here, and if you don't change your spark plugs enough and the gap gets too wide and the spark plug wires have too much resistance, it actually takes out these coil plugs. So I recommend doing a maintenance service of plugs and wires like you did with yours, so we protect your expensive coil pack here. So that's preventative maintenance there, so we've done that. Now another cool thing too is we changed your fuel filter. This is a basic design of a fuel system. We've got your fuel pump inside the tank. Fuel goes through the fuel filter, which does a good job of filtering out all the particles, and every time you get your gas can or your gas tank filled up, there may be some dirt that gets in there. This fuel filter does its job and keeps that from getting into your very small injector pinholes. These are your injectors right here. Computer pulses those, and you get a nice little atomized spray of fuel. Think of a can of spray paint. When an injector gets dirty, it's just like a can of spray paint that has that really blotchy paint versus a nice atomized spray like this. And this goes through to the fuel pressure regulator, which holds the pressure of the system. Yours is supposed to be around 40 to 45 psi. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And then of course the rest goes back to the tank. So it's a pressurized system, goes through the fuel filter, to the injectors, through the fuel pressure regulator, then back to your tank. And let's talk about that fuel filter a little bit. I'm glad we replaced it because we have a really complex way of testing these. We blow on them, and this one was about 80% plugged. So that's another maintenance thing that we've done to protect that very expensive fuel pump inside the tank. So you can imagine how expensive that is to replace. The whole tank's got to come down. At the same time, we went ahead and did a fuel injection flush. My preference is Seafoam. Does a really good job of cleaning all those injectors and all the railings out. So preventive maintenance, think of that as like flossing your injectors. Good preventative maintenance work. What we also do a tune-up as well too is we clean the throttle body housing, which is here's your air intake here, goes through there, and there's throttle plates inside there that we clean and make sure that the base idle's set. So we've done that too as well. We also do a complete diagnostic test. I want to make sure that there's no fuel injection problems on your vehicle, no codes. Battery tests out okay. That's my awesome Fluke multimeter. And this is your fuel pressure gauge that we have hooked up. So I'm glad we kept it for a few days. Thank you very much for your patience. And I wouldn't do anything different, meaning that I'm glad we did the basic tune-up, plugs, wires, fuel injection flush, cleaned out the throttle strategy. That's all maintenance stuff, needed to be done. And we tried it several times, which a real culprit, after doing a lot of more research, it's all about information, technology, you know, stick-to-itness. These have had problems with the intermittent hard start. The engine runs rust for a few seconds after startup. There's a known pattern of failures on your fuel pressure regulator. So what we did was, here's your fuel pressure gauge right here. I'll show a picture in this too as well too. It dropped all the way down to like 20 pounds of pressure or so, and it's also potentially been leaking as well too. So that right there was the issue with your cold start. And here's your fuel pressure regulator right here. So that, my friend, is the strategies of, this is a great example of a car that needed maintenance. So we've got to get caught up on that, because you cannot troubleshoot a car that does not have the basics of a good tune-up, good compression, and good battery voltage. You got to have those. So that's it for now. This is the case of the intermittent hard start. Jeff, I hope you've enjoyed my video showing all the maintenance stuff we've done, get you caught up there, and then also taking the extra time troubleshooting, testing, and verifying the information today of what it takes to fix today's cars. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. Once again, Racer Rob out. Another day here at Integrity Auto Care, fixing today's complex cars. Racer Rob out.